We welcome everyone here. Get everyone chimed in real quick. For those of you who don't know, my name is Frank Walker. I am serving as the president of the Pittsburgh Black Lawyers Alliance. We are thankful that you are here. This meeting forum will be approximately about an hour, a little bit over an hour. We're giving everyone an opportunity to speak for 90 seconds in the form of an introduction. By now, I'm sure all of you have your elevator speech down pat by now. The order of speakers will be in the chat room. The timekeepers will be Nathan Mutali and Hannah Walker. They will let you know at a 10-second time limit and also at a 5-second limit. So I'll let the time seekers introduce themselves right now. So Nathan, want to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Nathan Mutale. I'm a senior at Thomas Jefferson High School, and I'll be your 10-second timekeeper for today.
Thank you, Nathan. Hannah, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Hannah Walker, and I'm your 5-second timekeeper. I'm a senior at Rosemary High School. So just make sure you look out for my name in the chat to make sure you don't go over your time. Thank you.
Thank you. When they say name in the chat room to your left or right, it will show a 10-second time and a 5-second time. And I will enter the mute button at the 90-second time period. Now, I know everyone knows some people here. You may know some people in the background. You may have interacted with some of the attorneys on the list, and that's perfectly okay. But we want you to just get right into your introduction, who you are, what position you are seeking, and some of the reasons why you're the perfect candidate for that position. Also, in the end, please give an opportunity for the voters who are listening and watching live online now and later, how they can reach out to your campaign. Now, this is a Saturday afternoon. It's a very beautiful Saturday afternoon. And I look forward to spending time with you, but also looking forward to getting through this process. We have over 43 people from across the Commonwealth, so I look forward to hearing from you all. Now, I don't often get an opportunity to mute judges, but I really relish in the opportunity for people to go over the 90-second mark. So please be mindful of your time. I'm confident you can get to it and get through your speech in the 90 seconds. Without further ado, we will get started, and we will start with Lisa Middleman. I'll turn it to your time. The time is now 4:03. Lisa?
My name is Lisa Middleman, and I'm a candidate for judge of the Court of Common Pleas. Although I've practiced in every division of our courts, the bulk of my practice has been as a criminal defense attorney at the Public Defender's Office, fighting for the constitutional rights of marginalized, forgotten people. I started there in 1987 as a law clerk and worked my way up to be the first woman in the homicide unit defending murder and death penalty cases. I've represented victims, thousands of victims, witnesses, and accused in trials all over Western Pennsylvania, always advocating for equal justice and fair trials. I believe that we can provide community safety and equity through treatment instead of incarceration for people who struggle with mental health and addiction problems. I believe we can end the school to prison pipeline through providing partnerships for early treatment, opportunity, and mentorship for children. We can expand access to courts and legal assistance and provide social work assistance for victims and witnesses. I believe in applying the law equally regardless of identity, and that is the way to providing equity and fairness for all. In my 35 years, I've found that we are feeding the system instead of taking care of the people that the system was designed to protect. And that's why I'm running for judge.
Good afternoon. I want to thank the Pittsburgh Black Lawyers Alliance for providing this opportunity. I'm Raymond Robinson. I'm running for Magisterial District Judge in District 5242, which encompasses Brighton Heights, Perry North, Marshall Shadeland, Summer Hill, parts of Perry South, and Spring Hill. For nearly 25 years, I've been dedicated to empowering youth, families, and communities. In many instances, I had to support them after their involvement in courts, whether that was juvenile offenders, clients with mental health illnesses, families facing eviction and homelessness, and families involved with child protective services. I've witnessed firsthand how these experiences can upset the lives of victims, offenders, and the families involved. I can give my community a choice of someone who is focused on resolving complaints, where victims have a voice and are made whole, offenders are held to account and offered opportunities to change, and the community utilizes its resources. Knowing the law is vital. However, knowing communities, knowing people, and knowing how they intersect with the law is critical in the pursuit of justice. For more information on who I am and why I'm running, please go to raymond4judge.com. You can also find me at Raymond for Judge on Facebook. That's Raymond, the number 4judge.com. I invite you to our spring cleaning meet and greet next Saturday, April 3rd. We'll be cleaning up California Avenue, and I'll be sharing more ideas about what I can do with the court. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Nicole Henry-Taylor. I'm a candidate for the Court of Common Pleas. I received the rating of highly recommended by the Allegheny County Bar Judiciary Committee. I have been practicing law for 25 years. I currently focus on criminal and family law, but I have practiced in all divisions and still do work in all divisions. I also serve as the Director of Diversity for Duquesne Law, my alma mater. Some of the things that are very important to me are things such as mental health and medical treatment for those who are in our Allegheny County Jail. Children are very important to me. I serve as guardian ad litem, and I am concerned with children being charged as adults and who are also in the Allegheny County Jail. I've worked with immigrants throughout my career, and language access for those who speak other languages, as well as for those who are deaf and hearing impaired, are extremely important in our courts. Diversity in our jury pool is another issue that we must all come together to fix. If you would like to reach me, you can reach me at www.nicola4judge.com. Thank you for having me.
I am Attorney Jimmy Sheets. I'm running for the Court of Common Pleas in Allegheny County. I also started the Allegheny County Public Defender's Office, where I served for 5 years, representing the indigent citizens of Allegheny County in everything from relatively minor matters up through and including homicide cases. For the last 15 years, I've had my own private practice, where I have also continued to represent the indigent primarily in Allegheny County through court appointments. I've never advertised in any way, shape, or form. The way that I have continued to have a successful practice in Allegheny County is by word of mouth, both through the community, the people I've represented, referring me to other people, as well as the judges, almost to a person, routinely and regularly court appointing me to represent people that otherwise would not have a voice in the court system. I have for over 20 years, pretty much day in and day out, gone to court to advocate for those that need a voice. I believe that if I were elected to the Court of Common Pleas, I would bring to the bench a knowledge of the law, 20 years of experience in the system, not just in criminal, but in family, civil, representing juvenile defendants, representing both plaintiffs and defendants on PFAs. If you want to get a hold of me, please reach out to me directly at jimmysheets13@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to Frank. Nice to see you again. Frank and I have worked on some community projects, including distributing backpacks in East Hills, which is where I went to elementary school. My name is Zeke Rediker. I'm running for Court of Common Pleas. I'm running because I'm passionate about the judiciary, my hometown of Pittsburgh, and access to justice for all people. I'm an attorney at Reed Smith. I practice both trial and appellate law, mostly civil litigation, but criminal defense work pro bono, especially part of Reed Smith's criminal justice reform program. I grew up in the city, went to Pittsburgh Public Schools, East Hills, Frick, and Alderdice. After that, went on to Cornell, where I majored in African and African American studies and got a full scholarship to attend the University of Oxford in England to do African studies. Michigan Law School, started my career at Reed Smith, had the opportunity to clerk for the federal trial court in New York City and the Federal Court of Appeals in Detroit. I've since rejoined Reed Smith in the Pittsburgh office. I'm passionate about criminal justice reform and fair housing. I think it's very important that we have judges who understand the important conversations we're having in our country right now about racial justice and inequality. And ultimately, judges should be accountable to and visible in the communities that they serve. I really believe that. We have been fortunate to have the support of labor as well as many grassroots groups. Please check out our website. It's zekeforjudge.com, and I'll look forward to speaking with many of you in the coming weeks. Hope to earn your vote this spring.
Thank you, Frank. Hopefully everyone can hear me. My name is Patrick Sweeney. For those of you who haven't encountered me in court, I've been a public defender for the last 23 years. I started with that office in 1997 after a brief stint in Brookville, PA, working for a pretty much a two-person law firm. I was the third lawyer, but once I got the offer to come back to Pittsburgh and work for the public defender's office, I never left. I have tried everything from shoplifting to homicide. I've done dozens of jury trials, hundreds of non-jury trials. I've counseled thousands of clients over the years. That practice, however, has actually brought me in front of all 4 divisions of the Court of Common Pleas. I've argued appeals of mental health commitments in orphans court. In civil division, those were the civil contempts for the PFA violations. I used to argue those for the office. And of course, I was assigned previously to our juvenile division, but most of my experience has been in the adult trial division. I don't think there is any better preparation for the job that I am seeking than the one that I've been doing for the last 23 years. I am someone who is dedicated to the cause of justice. Most of my clients, actually a majority of my clients, are African American. All of them are poor, either temporarily or sometimes struggling with lifetimes of poverty. I believe very firmly that we must add a voice to the voiceless. That's what we do in the public defender's office. We bring justice to the dispossessed. That's something I believe very strongly in, something I've dedicated my career to. And if I am fortunate enough to become judge, it is something that I would be able to continue in, which is one of the reasons why I'm seeking this position. I've also represented my colleagues as their union rep. I was a union steward for 9 years, and I'm currently the bargaining unit secretary for the United Steelworkers, representing not only.
Thank you, Frank. I appreciate it. My name is Giuseppe Rosselli. I'm running for the Court of Common Pleas of Allegheny County. I'm a trial lawyer. I've tried every case from disorderly conduct to homicide every day for the past 20 years. I woke up and fought for equality and fought for fairness in process. I was born and raised in Allentown, Pennsylvania, raised by a 17-year-old mother and an African-American stepfather. I was the first to graduate high school, the first to go to college, and the only person in my family to go to law school and graduate. I'm married with 2 children, Evie and Sophie. Evie is adopted and she too is African-American. I volunteer my time teaching lawyers to be at the University of Pittsburgh School of Law, trial advocacy. I also created a free Zoom legal clinic during the pandemic in underserved communities like Wilkinsburg and Carnegie. That program is now growing in scope. The reason why I'm running is this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to bring balance to the Court of Common Pleas. I believe that concepts like equality and fairness are dictated by one's life experience. I bring a unique life experience to the table, to this conversation. My hope is that everyone educates themselves during this campaign cycle. It's important that we understand who we're electing and what they're about. If you want to learn more about me, you can find my information at roselli4judge.com, or you can contact me directly at roselli4judge Giuseppe at roselli4judge.com. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Good afternoon. My name is Chuck Porter. I'm a candidate for Court of Common Pleas. I think there is no question I have the broadest and lengthiest experience of any of the candidates. That I am in my 36th year of practice. I started in October of 1985 at the district attorney's office. In September of 87, I went into private practice. I have primarily for the last, into my 34th year now, have done criminal defense in Allegheny County and all the counties surrounding Allegheny County, in the federal district courts in Western Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh, in Erie, in Johnstown, in the federal district courts in Ohio and West Virginia. I've also had the opportunity to clerk for 3 different judges over the course of my career: Judge David Sircone in both criminal and civil, Judge David Cashman in criminal, and finally Judge Paul Luddy in civil. I've also been on my zoning board for over 20 years. I've talked to people, and I think the most important thing that we need is when we go to court, we want a judge who understands what we are talking about, what we are doing, what we have done. I've stood in the shoes of defense lawyers for over 33 and a half years. I've been in front of many judges who have not been fair. I've been in front of judges who have been fair and know how to treat people. I believe that the most important thing a judge can do is treat the people in his courtroom like he would want to be treated and how his family would want to be treated. I would ask you to look me up at chuckporterforjudge.com, and I thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Beth Sinatra. Thank you, Frank. This is wonderful. I've been practicing law for the past 30 years. I'm what you call a civil trial lawyer. I try cases, and I've tried cases all over the country. I've tried them all over Pennsylvania. The cases that I try involved things like 3 Mile Island, Exxon Valdez, many complex cases, a lot of real estate cases, oil and gas. We do need a diverse court. We're not all criminal lawyers. We're not all family lawyers. I think, just about the only civil lawyer. A little bit about me. I attended the University of Pittsburgh on a full women's basketball scholarship. I was one of the first 2,000 women in the country to earn this honor. Thereafter, I went to law school at night. I worked in the day. I had 2 sons who I raised as a single mother. Thereafter, when my sons went out the front door, my parents came in the back. I take care of my 90-year-old parents right now. I'm very active in the community. I raise a lot of money for Kids Voice. I work for Operation Better Block. My time that I donate is not through an entity that pays me. I do this on my own because I think it's the right thing to do. Now, I'm running for the Court of Common Pleas of Allegheny County because we need good judges. I've had too many times where I've had a judge knock a case out because they didn't know what was going on. Beth Tarasi Sinatra, start spreading the news. I put my information in the chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. My name is Bruce Beemer. I am currently sitting as a judge in the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas, and I'm running to retain that seat. I was appointed by Governor Wolf in December of 2019 and was unanimously confirmed by the Senate later that month. I was the first judge in over a decade to be either elected or appointed and immediately sent to the criminal division of Allegheny County, where I currently am sitting as a judge. So I have been highly recommended by the Allegheny County Bar Association. I have sat in some of the highest levels or positions in state government, including as the 49th Attorney General of Pennsylvania, and working in Governor Wolf's cabinet for 3 years as the Inspector General of Pennsylvania. I am running to retain my seat because I believe very passionately in some of the criminal justice reform that needs to happen within our courts, including finding solutions outside of a 6x8 jail cell for nonviolent offenders who often need treatment for mental health issues or for substance abuse. Those are the types of things that I'm working on every day and have been working on over the last year in my courtroom. And I would like to continue to do that and hope to earn your support. You can find me at www.keepjudgebeemer.com if you'd like to learn more. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Frank. I'm coming to you as I'm out here canvassing, putting some door knockers on doors and meeting voters. My name is Albert Ververka. I'm running for the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. I'm very fortunate to work at the law firm of Dickey, McCamey, and Chilco, where I practice criminal and civil defense. As a trial lawyer, as someone who's been in a courtroom every day, our courtrooms are failing us. They're failing us in our criminal division. We don't have automatic bail review. Our courtrooms are failing us in the family division. You have to wait weeks in order to get a custody hearing when your rights of seeing your children are on the line. In our civil division, we don't assign judges cases. There's no accountability. Cases language 5, 10, 15 years. I'm taking depositions now in a 2009 case. It's unfair to the litigants. It's unfair to Allegheny County, the way in which our courtrooms treat people. I'm very proud of my endorsements. Check us out at voteververka.com. I'm endorsed by the Allegheny County Labor Council. You know, I went to law school on union wages. My mother was president of her teachers union. My father was also a teacher. I grew up with those values of education and knowing that we need to do better. And I'm running for the Court of Common Pleas for that reason. Thank you all. Thank you, Frank. Good to see everybody. Hope to see you soon.
Hi, I'm Wrenna Watson. I'm a candidate for a judge of the Court of Common Pleas. I am a lifelong Pittsburgher. I was born in Homewood, raised in the Hill, and lived in Manchester for 12 years, raising my daughter as a single mom. And I'm happy to say she's 36 and doing very well. I moved back to the Hill, bought my home, and I'm living with my dad, who's 98 years old. He's the retired J. Warren Watson, one of the first Black judges. He's also doing well. And I'm a 29-year practicing attorney. I have represented thousands of children, families, and members of the community in every division of the court. Additionally, I have 26 years sitting as a judge in the minor judiciary. I was judge of the Pittsburgh Magistrates Court I chaired zoning and city planning, first Black to simultaneously chair those boards for 8 years. Was a former Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board hearing examiner, and I have sat as a mental health hearing officer for 26 years. And I have heard over 50,000 cases. And if anyone that's been in my courtroom, they'll tell you I'm fair. I listen to both sides of the case before I make a decision, and I treat people with respect. These are not new qualities for me. These are things that I've been doing for 26 years. I learned from my dad. I learned many things, but also good judicial temperament and demeanor. And I'm here today, and excellence in preparation as well. I'm here to ask you for your vote. My website is my name, RennaWatson.com. I'd love to have your support. I love you all, and God bless you, and thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you to the PBLA for inviting us here today. My name is District Judge Pappas, and I'm a candidate for Court of Common Pleas. I'm running for the Court of Common Pleas because I'm deeply committed to protecting our rights. I'm passionate about the law and advancing the legal community, and I love our community. My background is that I'm a magisterial district judge representing 8 neighborhoods in the city of Pittsburgh and the East End, East Liberty and the surrounding area. I'm an innocence defense and civil rights attorney, although I had a multidisciplinary practice. I worked in government, and before that, I was a community organizer. Before that, I grew up in the community I now serve. I grew up in East Liberty during the arms race of the war on drugs era. And I think that's important because to have grown up with an incarcerated parent, to have lost loved ones to gun violence and addiction, gives me an understanding of people, which is what we want in a judge. It gives me an ability to show temperament, which many of you who have been in my courtroom know that I demonstrate. And I think it's also important, and we all know it's important for judges to know the law. Many of you are familiar with my advocacy in the matter of Commonwealth versus Knox, where we had a statewide precedent for freedom of speech as a result. And you're also familiar with the fact that I ruled consistent with Commonwealth versus McClellan well before that case was decided. Most importantly, in this 2021 era, we need judges who are going to lead from the bench. And I've demonstrated that I have the leadership qualities that can take us from an era of reckoning into an era of reconciliation and reform. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Judge Elliot Housey, and I am currently serving in the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. I'm running to keep my seat on the court, and I'm very passionate about continuing the work of reforming the court that I've already begun and I'm currently doing. In 2019, I was fortunate enough to be nominated and appointed to the court, and I was unanimously confirmed by the Pennsylvania Senate to serve in the 2 divisions where I currently serve, the family division as well as the criminal division. And I'm in the busiest docket in the criminal division, which is Phoenix Court. But this is also very atypical for judges. Most judges only serve in 1 division. I'm currently serving in 2 divisions. But I believe this is because of my life experience, growing up in a low-income community, understanding the impact that our court system has on people's lives. It is because of my work experience, working in social services, working as a defense attorney, working as a prosecutor, working as a director of the public defender's office, as well as my perspective. Understanding that the majority of the people that end up in our court system are there because of mental health issues, drug and alcohol addiction, and or homelessness. For those reasons, I believe I'm uniquely qualified to continue to serve as a judge in the Court of Common Pleas, and I humbly ask you for your support. If you'd like to learn more about my campaign or more about my qualifications, my website is www.elliotthousey.org, or you could feel free to give us a call at 724-705-4867. Again, my name is Judge Elliot Housey. I'm a candidate for the Court of Common Pleas, and I humbly ask you for your support, and I look forward to speaking with you more in the future. Take care of yourselves and stay safe, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. My name is Tom Caulfield. I've been a magisterial district judge in the Forest Hills area since 2010 when I was appointed by Governor Rendell. After that, I won 2 judicial elections. In that time, I've heard over 26,000 cases in every area of the law: civil, family matters such as juvenile cases and protection from abuse issues, and criminal cases. Prior to that, I was an attorney with the Office of the Public Defender for over 19 years and rose to be the deputy director. And I think experience matters for a judge. And I think that criminal justice reform, which is on the ballot this year, is not an election year issue for me. It's been the center of my career. In criminal matters over the last 10 years, I've eliminated the use of cash bail unless requested to use it by the defense. The ACLU issued a report about 1.5 years ago and listed me as the judge who uses it the least. I use treatment as a first option in my court. I have representatives in my court to help those struggling with mental health and substance abuse issues. Currently, I'm working with my 5 communities, which are Braddock Hills, Chalfont, Churchill, Forest Hills, and Swissvale, to bring a pre-arrest diversionary program into our community, where instead of arrest, people suffering from mental health and drug and alcohol issues would be referred immediately to a social worker. No charges would be filed. I work with the Woodland Hills School District to keep students from getting into the criminal justice system. And in one recent year prior to COVID, we had 0 students cited and brought to court. I'm on the board of directors of the Fair Housing Partnership, which works to ensure that fair housing laws are.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Pittsburgh Black Lawyers Alliance for the invitation to participate in today's forum. My name is Scott Schricker, and I am currently the Magisterial District Judge serving the communities of Braddock, Duquesne, East Pittsburgh, North Braddock, and Turtle Creek. This year marks the 18th year that I've served in that capacity, always in the pursuit of serving justice by remaining fair, impartial, and compassionate. I graduated college from Indiana University of Pennsylvania in 1984. I am a lifelong resident of the Mon Valley and a 30-year resident of the city of Duquesne, where I have raised my 3 daughters. Prior to being elected as judge, I worked as a group home counselor with at-risk youth and their families, and spent many years in the business world. Since 2004, I have gained the experience of supervising over 100,000 cases and have completed more than 500 hours of continuing legal education. I've worked with many offenders, offering those who are interested in earning a benefit from alternative treatment plans. You can follow our campaign at www.keepjudgeschricker.com. I thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today and look forward to spending more time with you in the future forums. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity from the PBLA. My name is Demetrius Baldwin, and I am a candidate for Magistrate District 05247, which encompasses Braddock, North Braddock, Turtle Creek, East Pittsburgh, and Duquesne. And I'm running to continue a legacy that has been started by my grandparents. They've spent 50 years in the Mon Valley shaping the political sphere. And I want to continue and build on that legacy. But furthermore, I'm running to right the ship of a system that continues to fail the people. And, as magistrate, I look to first reduce the reliance on cash bail. Second, reduce the number and rate of evictions by utilizing alternatives to keep, utilizing alternatives like restorative practices and mediation, as well as utilize alternatives to keep our youth out of the criminal justice system. We know that right now, 60% of the county jail population is Black, and we only make up 13% of the actual county population. And of those incarcerated, the majority are there for nonviolent offenses. So right now we understand that there's a need to reduce the criminalization of poverty, addiction, as well as homelessness. And so that's what I aim to do as magistrate. If you want to get more information, you can find us at baldwinforchange.com, as well as at vote4Baldwin on Facebook. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Leah Duncan, and I'm running for Magisterial District Judge in Pittsburgh's 26th and 27th wards. I have been an attorney for 25 years, and I began my legal career as a parent advocate. I represented those parents whose children were removed from their custody by CYF. After a few years, I became a child advocate representing those same children so they would have a voice in court. I've also served many years as a conflict public defender for the juveniles facing certain offenses and also being their voice in court. But for the past 20 years, I have presided over a courtroom in the family division. I conduct approximately 1,000 hearings per year. So that means in 20 years, I've presided over some 20,000 cases that directly affect the families of Allegheny County. Everything that I've done at the county level has uniquely prepared me to serve as magisterial district judge. And I don't believe there's anyone who will bring the commitment, the qualifications, and the experience that I'm bringing to the table. I've served Pittsburgh on the Commission on Human Relations, fighting discrimination in all forms. I did that for 10 years. 4 of those years, I was the commission chair. I am a proponent of diversionary and restorative justice practices. My vision for this court is a one-stop legal resource center and also legal forums, quarterly legal forums to educate the community in legal.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jessel Costa. I've worked as an assistant public defender. I've worked as a deputy attorney general in charge of the sex crimes against children unit, and I've worked in private practice. This year, I'm running for judge in the Court of Common Pleas because I believe we have a unique opportunity with 9 open spots to reshape and reform the judiciary in Allegheny County. We need to elect 9 folks with the right mix of experience and ideas for change. And to that end, I have 3 that I've been running on. The first, we need automatic and mandatory bail review within 1 week of an individual's preliminary hearing. We're all aware that magisterial district justices set bail. However, common pleas judges need to more quickly review these decisions and make changes necessary to prevent citizens from languishing in jail pre-trial. We need to increase the number of and expand and make more inclusive the nature of the diversionary programs in Allegheny County. These types of programs center rehabilitation over incarceration, are in the means of restorative justice, and should be the default for interaction with the criminal justice system. Finally, we need to implement sentencing reforms. Allegheny County gives out some of the longest sentences of probation of anywhere in the Commonwealth and is on the top of the list nationally. These probationary sentences simply set folks up to fail and perpetuate the cycle of incarceration and release. All of these things need to change, and we need to elect 9 judges that will make sure that they do. I submit that I would be one of them, and I thank you all for your time this afternoon.
Thanks, Frank. My name is George Heim. I'm running for the Court of Common Pleas. Some of you may remember that I ran for that same position in 2019 on a criminal justice reform platform. I was the only one talking about it at the time. Unfortunately, in the past 2 years, things have only gotten worse. Systemic racism, overly long probationary periods, we're setting people up to fail. And I very often hear people say that we need to fix the system because it's broken. But what we need to recognize is the system is not broken. The system is working exactly the way that it was designed to work. Our criminal justice system was designed to disenfranchise people, people of color, LGBTQ community, and those without money. And until we recognize that, we can't fix those underlying problems so that we can begin to change the system rather than just continue to do the same things and wonder why nothing ever changes. Part of the problem, frankly, is the way that the Allegheny County Democratic Committee endorses and helps elect judges. The way that they do so perpetuates the systemic racism in our criminal justice system. We need to change the way that we elect judges. This year is a perfect opportunity with nearly a quarter of the judges in the Allegheny County Common Pleas Court up for election. If we elect the right judges, not only can they make changes in their courtrooms, but they can force systemic change as well. Thank you for the opportunity, and I hope to have your support.
Thank you, Frank. My name is Dan Konechka. I am running for the judge of Court of Common Pleas. I currently have the honor and privilege of serving as the magisterial district judge here in Shaler, Etna, Millville, and Reserve. I have 34 years of courtroom experience. I've been highly recommended by the Allegheny County Bar Association. I've served 23 years as a prosecutor, 8 years as a criminal defense attorney, and now 3.5 years as a magisterial district judge. As a criminal defense attorney, I was a member of the CJA panel. As a member of the CJA panel, I was appointed by the federal public defender and federal judges to represent indigent federal defendants. So I know how the system works. I know where the problems are. In fact, I'm one of only 3 judges that is currently serving on the social equity justice work group. We began our work in January, and what we hope to be able to do is come up with a more fair and just system at the conclusion of our work, which is going to probably take at least 12 months. Because as Mr. Heim has indicated, there are a lot of problems in our criminal justice system. My main focus, however, as a magisterial district judge is essentially looking at our juvenile offenders. After dealing with 34 years of adult offenders, I believe it's more important to be dealing with our juvenile offenders, and that's my main focus. If you want to reach out to me, you can reach out at dankforjudge@gmail.com or our website, www.dankforjudge.com. Thank you. Everyone have a great day.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. I am Amanda Green-Hawkins, and I am running for the Commonwealth Court. I am a lawyer with the Steelworkers Union, as I have been for going on 20 years now. and my work there makes me uniquely prepared and uniquely qualified for the Commonwealth Court. I work for the largest industrial union in North America. We represent about 1 million workers and retirees throughout the public and private sectors of our economy. I'm also one of only 2,000 or so attorneys in the entire country recognized by the National AFL-CIO as a union lawyer. I am running to be of service and responsive to all Pennsylvanians in search of fairness. Barbara Jordan once said that what the people want is very simple. They want an America as good as its promise. And we know that promise is liberty and justice for all, as we say it in our Pledge of Allegiance. But here we are with people concerned about bias in our judicial system because of their race or their age or their gender and other characteristics. We only have one person of color out of 31 judges in our entire appellate system. And we cannot unsee what we saw last summer with thousands of people in our streets asking, is justice accessible or attainable for people who look like me? Well, I am running to give the people what they want and deserve: fairness and dignity and respect. Please learn more about me at www.amandagreenhawkins.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tiffany Sizemore. My website is votetiffanysizemore.com, and we can be found on Facebook at Friends of Tiffany Sizemore. Justice has been elusive, if available at all, for far too long to Black people, brown people, folks with disabilities, our LGBTQIA+ brothers and sisters, and those who are poor. Their voices have been marginalized. Their voices have been intentionally silenced. I am so proud to say that for the entire 16 years of my legal career, I have been standing in courtrooms next to these people and screaming to make sure that their voices are heard. I've spent my career primarily as a public defender. For the last 6 years, I've been at Duquesne Law School. I developed and I operate a clinic that is focused on helping young people in delinquency and education systems. It's an innovative clinic for our region. Our work focuses on keeping kids in school and out of jail. There are far too many children pushed into our juvenile justice system who should not be there. They should not be adjudicated for crimes that are normative adolescent behavior. I'm somebody who is not only in the courtroom every day, but who spends my time outside of court at policy tables nationally, statewide, and locally. I'm asking you to join our campaign to bring justice for all to Allegheny County on May 18th. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Frank. I'm Rosemary Crawford, a candidate for Judge, Court of Common Pleas. I'm running primarily because I want to stop the criminalization of the poor and minorities. I want treatment as opposed to incarceration. And I want social and economic justice and real equality. I have spent a lifetime working for civil rights in our community, working with various organizations and speaking and helping. I've also mentored children in the community, provided scholarships, and I've also worked to provide free legal services. I'm a lawyer for 31 years. I went to Georgetown Law School. I have been a part of the community of various bar associations, the first Black chair of the Young Lawyers section, and also former president of Homer S. Brown Law Association when it was an independent organization. I can be reached at Rosemary Crawford for judge.com. And I am number 24 on the ballot and number 24 here today. Thank you, Frank, and I appreciate this opportunity.
Thanks, Frank. I'm Judge David Spurgeon. I apologize. I'm actually at a rest stop right now because I'm traveling Pennsylvania as a statewide candidate. I am a candidate for the Pennsylvania Commonwealth Court. There are 2 openings for the Pennsylvania Commonwealth Court. I've served as a judge for the last 5 years in Allegheny County, and I serve in the family division and the juvenile section. Many of the people on here have actually appear in front of me on a pretty routine basis. And I've always strived to be the judge that I wanted to appear of in front of as a lawyer. I have been asked to go to criminal court a couple times, but I feel like I'm making a bigger impact on juveniles trying to get early intervention. And that was a passion for me. When I was in the DA's office, I was an advocate for our problem-solving courts. So I was a supervisor of mental health court, helped create veterans court, as well as a court for domestic violence batterers. I'm running for Commonwealth Court as the only endorsed Democratic candidate by the state, as the only highly recommended candidate by the Pennsylvania Bar Association across the state. And I'm very proud to be supported by Labor. I was endorsed by the state Pennsylvania AFL-CIO across the state, as well as local unions in Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and everywhere in between. I'm running because that court needs our perspective. I live in the Mon Valley. I stayed in the Mon Valley. I'm the only judge from that area in the last 30 years. And we need to make sure that we have the everyday perspective on that bench. There are 7 Republicans and 2 Democrats on that bench. And we are lacking the voice of the everyday person. So that's why I'm running. So I appreciate you. You can follow us at www.judgespurgeonforcommonwealth.com. Thank you.
Thanks, Frank. Thanks to the members of the PBLA. My name is Sabrina Korbel. I'm a candidate for the Court of Common Pleas. I'm the legal director at the Women's Center and Shelter of Greater Pittsburgh. And for nearly the last 20 years, I've represented survivors of domestic violence and their families. And I've dedicated my entire legal career to saving the lives of victims and their children. And it's truly been my honor to stand next to people in court who I think are doing some of the most courageous things in their lives, which is going to court, telling their stories, and asking for the court to hear their voices when they think they have none. In my capacity in my work, I've managed and represented clients in over 7,000 cases, primarily in the family division. And the reason why that's important is because our family division has the highest volume of cases coming through, and it handles very difficult cases that relate to housing, children, and people's livelihood. And I've seen how the court has been expensive, time-consuming, and confusing. And I've worked very hard to improve our court system for those folks who are most resource burdened. Because when we make those kinds of changes, we improve the court system for everyone. And we need to make sure that our courts are transparent, accessible, and safe. And we have a lot of work to do. And we have a lot of holistic changes we need to make, especially improving the way our divisions talk to each other and the way our courts talk to our communities and engage our community partners. I am highly recommended by the Bar Association. I'm excited about our campaign and our support. And if you'd like to learn more about me, you can visit my website at sabrinaforjudge.com. I thank you for your time today.
Hi, thanks, Frank. Good afternoon. I'm Marc Daffner. I'm also a candidate for the Court of Common Pleas of Allegheny County. I am 52 years old. I'm married. I have 3 children, and I live in the South Hills. Now, for nearly the past 30 years, I've been a trial lawyer. My practice area has been primarily criminal law, family law, and commercial litigation. I have literally represented people in thousands of cases, not just here at home, but statewide. I've been in 33 out of our 67 Pennsylvania counties at both the state and federal courts and at both the trial and appellate levels. I am a Pennsylvania super lawyer, a national top 100 trial lawyer. I've been featured in national publications such as the Chicago Journal, New York Weekly, and most recently Forbes magazine. I've written 2 books with another on the way. So I've been a little bit busy. One of the reasons that I'm running is that, I think everybody here can agree that we do need some important changes in our court system, and we do have that opportunity this year to do that. But, there's a difference between talking points and being able to get it done. My experience statewide has allowed me to see the best and the worst that court systems have to offer. I know what works. I know what doesn't work. More importantly, I know how to get things done. For the past 30 years, I've been fighting for all of our rights. I'd like to continue doing so as a judge of the Court of Common Pleas. If you want to get in touch with my campaign, it's real easy to find me. It's daffnerforjudge@usa.com, or my website, daffnerforjudge.com, or on Facebook at daffnerforjudge.com. So thank you. Take care. Stay safe and healthy.
Good afternoon. I am Judge Maria McLaughlin, and I currently sit on our Pennsylvania Superior Court. I am the Democratic nominee for our one open seat on the Supreme Court. When I ran in 2017, I was the only candidate that spent time in each and every county, all 67. That's important if you represent the entire state to do that. I was the first in my family to attend college, but being a single mom for many years definitely shaped not only who I am, but the kind of judge that I am. Also important to note is that I'm not just around during campaign time. I am in our communities each and every day, all over our state, with reentry programs, with youth anti-violence programs. I am highly recommended by not only the Pennsylvania Bar Association, but highly recommended by our local Philadelphia Bar Association. I hope you'll all visit my announcement video. I am putting it in the chat room, and thank you so much for having me. Judge Maria McLaughlin for Supreme Court.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. My name's Alyssa Cowan, and I'm running for a seat on the Court of Common Pleas. My aim is to provide a trauma-informed system for our children and families interacting with the courts. I came to the law through social work. I have my master's in social work. I was the first social worker and coordinator at Penn's Interdisciplinary Center for Children's Policy Practice and Research. Upon obtaining my law degree from Temple University, I started at DC's Office of the Attorney General in their Child Protection section. In DC, I also worked with the American Bar Association Center on Children in the Law. Upon returning to Pittsburgh, where I'm from, I started as a staff attorney with Kids Voice, representing children in foster care as their guardian ad litem, as well as a court-appointed medical and educational decision maker, advocating for the medical, educational, and mental health rights of children in foster care. I went on from Kids Voice to become a legal trainer with the statewide adoption and permanency network, providing legal trainings across the state of Pennsylvania on a variety of child welfare laws. And my current position as an assistant county solicitor in the county law department representing children, youth, and families. I'm the county solicitor who sits on a number of interagency work groups looking at opioid use disorders in the county, as well as intimate partner violence and a court improvement project and pilot project around that. I'm rated highly recommended by the Allegheny County Bar Association, and I would appreciate your support and vote on May 18th. You can learn more about me at votecowan.com.
Thanks, Frank. My name's Bryan Malkin. I'm running to be one of your judges. I am a Franklin Park councilman, and I live in the North Hills with my wife of 16 years and my teen daughters. I have been a civil litigator for 25 years, handling every type of case you can imagine in every type of courtroom, with juries and without. I was trained in mediation for the court, and I have sat as an arbitrator on the Special Landlord-Tenant Arbitration Panel. I've chaired both the Environmental Advisory Council and the Zoning and Hearing Board in Franklin Park. As a chair, I conducted quasi-judicial hearings, often with pro se folks, and I made sure that they got their evidence in and got their fair hearing. Win or lose, they understood what they were doing and why the process was doing what it was doing. I've studied the issues. It's time to reform the justice system. Let's eliminate cash bail for nonviolent offenders. Likewise, imposing excessive bail and probation conditions needs to end. No-knock warrants must be eliminated. When someone with mental illness, drug, or alcohol dependency lands in the criminal justice system through no fault of their own, they need to be treated with compassion and diverted social services that will help them heal and get back into society. We need to institute a restorative justice program for nonviolent offenders. Stop spending money on punishment and spend more on education and counseling. Putting money into our underserved communities and schools, that's how we lower the crime rates. If you send me to the bench, I will fight every day for fairness and equity, regardless of income, race, disability, sex, gender preference, or identification. My name's Bryan Malkin. Find more about me at malkin4judge.com. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Richard Thomas Ernsberger. I'm running for judge at the Court of Common Pleas. I received a recommended rating from the Allegheny County Bar Association. A little about me. I grew up here in the city of Pittsburgh. I attended Central Catholic High School. I went away to college, and after college, I worked for the Federal Reserve. After the Federal Reserve, I went to law school, and then I started my legal career as a clerk on the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. After my clerkship ended, I returned back home to Pittsburgh, where I've been practicing as a civil plaintiff's attorney. I've done consumer protection cases. I've done whistleblower cases. I've represented authors who've had their copyrights infringed. I've done a wide variety of exceptionally complex litigation over the past 14 years that I've been an attorney. And recently, I was working for the Small Business Administration, reviewing COVID loans and disaster assistance loans for individuals and families that had their businesses or houses destroyed. For example, in Louisiana and Alabama, there were a lot of people who had been hit by hurricanes. And when you're doing the disaster assistance loan, you're talking about to people who may not have an understanding of what's going on or what's happening. There was also a fair amount of fraud that was going on that you'd have to mark and flag. So I spent a lot of time trying to help individuals and people. Now I'm running because over the years, whether I was working at the Fed or for my judge or at the Small Business Administration, I've seen the importance of government and how it represents people. And I think that the ability to be a judge with a balance and calm demeanor is exceptionally important. Now, if you'd like to learn more about me, my website is rearnsberger4judge.com. And I'd like to thank you and ask you for your vote. Have a nice day.
Hello. Thank you to the Pittsburgh Black Lawyers Alliance for allowing me this opportunity to speak to you today. I am District Judge Armand A. Martin. I currently serve in Magisterial District 5309, which is located in the Mon Valley. It covers the city of Clairton and the boroughs of Glassport, Liberty Borough, and Port View. I am a lifelong member of the Mon Valley, and that's where my heart lies. Since the day I was elected to judge, I have made it a priority to try to seek help and or education towards resolving people's cases rather than punishment. I also I have also been very active with youth sports because I believe that the future is the children. So I have volunteer coach for Clairton football team, as well as several youth organizations in the South Allegheny School District area, because I believe that if we invest in our children, we're investing in our future. Once again, I thank everybody for the opportunity to speak here today. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Hi, Frank. Thank you. My name is Illan Zur, and I'm running for Court of Common Pleas. I've spent my legal career of 22 years practicing in the criminal division, mostly prosecuting homicide cases with the DA's office. I say this because I believe it shows that I have extensive experience, which I think is crucial for somebody running for Court of Common Pleas. In addition, I've also gained perspective. I've seen the worst of people, and I've also seen the best in people. And I firmly believe that just because you commit a crime, it doesn't make you a bad person. I think that people do make mistakes and that they deserve second chances. I truly see that prison is a last resort. And I say this not as a buzzword, but because of what I've seen in criminal court. Because I've been in court so often, seen the devastation of lengthy jail sentences. And I say all that because it's motivating me to practice in the juvenile court. I want to be in a position where I can intervene earlier with kids, hopefully steer them in the right direction so they can avoid criminal court altogether. I'm open-minded, I have compassion, and I care. If you want to learn more about me, please visit zurforjudge.com. And thank you very much.
Hi, everybody. Frank, thanks so much. PBLA, thank you for having me. My name is Jill Beck. I am from the city of Pittsburgh, and I'm running for statewide Superior Court. I am also traveling the state right now, so please excuse me in the car. I'm running for the Superior Court based on my commitment to public service and my experience on both sides of the Superior Court bench. I have represented clients in every area the Superior Court hears. That's criminal, civil, family, juvenile, and orphans court matters. I have largely dedicated my career to public service, representing child abuse victims, victims of domestic violence, helping to protect our vote in our elections, helping people facing housing insecurity through the COVID crisis, doing research and advisory work for Ceasefire PA, just helping people without money get the same rights and protections as people who do. I spent 10 years on the other side of the bench, working for Christine Donahue, where I drafted over 500 decisions of the very kind that I will decide if elected to the Superior Court. And I've also practiced as a practitioner representing clients in the Superior Court itself, filing appeals, defending appeals, and orally arguing before that court. I've been highly recommended by the ACBA. The PBA has also recommended me to be a Superior Court judge. I know the law, I know the job, I'm passionate about the work. I'm ready to go from day one, and I would love to have your support. You can find out more about me at www.jillbeck.com. All of my social media have the same handle, Elect Jill Beck. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. This is Jason Cervone. I too am running for judge at the Court of Common Pleas of Allegheny County. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you today. A little bit about my background. I'm a little different. I actually practice civil law. I've been practicing for 20 years. I'm a partner at the law firm of Burns White. I'm actually licensed in 3 states, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Texas, and I've tried cases in 10 different jurisdictions at both at the state and federal level throughout those 3 states. I also help small to mid-sized businesses. I act as a general counsel. To that effect, I got my LLM from Villanova in 2019. But long before I was a lawyer, I was just a kid, grew up, born and raised on the north side of Pittsburgh, graduated from Oliver High School, went to WVU for law school, graduated in the top 10% of my class, left Pittsburgh, went down to Texas, worked for 3 years. I was down there, met my wife, came home, and this is where we wanted to raise our family. So we moved back here, and I've been living here and practicing ever since. I also wanted, like I said, I grew up in the city, and my goal here is to not only become a judge on the bench, but also to help inspire city kids to know that through hard work and education, you can achieve your dreams. All my information you can find at www.friendsofjasoncervone.com or on Facebook at Cervone for Judge. Thank you all again. I appreciate your time.
So first, thank you to the Pittsburgh Black Lawyers Association. I apologize for being on the go, kids in the background, but I am Chelsa Wagner, and I am a candidate for judge on the Court of Common Pleas. I've been an attorney for 16 years. I started as a plaintiff's attorney. During that time, I've worked with 3 different law firms, the Homiak Law Firm, Rosen, Lewick and Perry, and Leach Tishman, but I've spent most of my time in public office. I've been a state representative, and I'm currently serving in my 3rd term as Allegheny County Controller. So I believe what I bring uniquely to the race is somebody who has not just spoken truth to power, but has worked at really reforming some of our deeply rooted, deeply entrenched bureaucracies. So I think we have a great opportunity, and I'll look forward to talking further and appreciate the opportunity to just say hello today.
Good afternoon. Thank you to the PBLA for doing this. My name is Bryan Neft, and I'm running for judge of the Pennsylvania Superior Court. You can read about my qualifications in my bio. The Allegheny County Bar Association rated me highly recommended, and the Pennsylvania Bar Association rated me recommended as well. And of all the candidates, I have the most broad-based experience, and I've worked on some of the most complex litigation in Pittsburgh, including the UPMC Highmark antitrust litigation over Children's Hospital. I clerked for a Superior Court judge and drafted hundreds of decisions for my judge. I practiced before all of the appellate courts, and I practiced in 30 different counties across the Commonwealth. And just as important, my career path has also been the things that I've done in our community. I've been a leader in the Allegheny County Bar Association for many years. I've championed issues for women, for people of color, and for the LGBTQ community. I've worked to raise millions of dollars for hunger relief in Allegheny County, and I've sat on our gender bias subcommittee where we fielded complaints from victims of gender bias. And as a result, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court appointed me to the IOLTA board, working for access to justice for those who need legal services but can't afford it, and I'm committed to access to justice. I hope to earn your vote. Thank you so much for having me, and I'll put my information in the chat room.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Judge Tamika Lane, and I sit on the Court of Common Pleas in Philadelphia. I was elected in 2013. I am the only candidate in this race for Superior Court that is actually a judge, and let me tell you why that matters. The Superior Court is often the final stop for most people in Pennsylvania. And as a judge who has extensive trial experience, also I have that as an attorney. I was a public defender. I was a child advocate. I actually did civil arbitrations, and I worked in the state Senate. So I have that legislative experience as well. And on the bench, I am the only judge who does human trafficking cases, but I hear jury trials and bench trials where a judge makes a decision. And as this is the final stop for most people in Pennsylvania, we need someone in the courts who can reflect the diversity of Pennsylvania. Not only is there only one African-American person on all the appellate benches in Pennsylvania, but we also need someone with a diversity of experience. And I bring that. I come from humble beginnings. I'm a single mother, 1st generation college, 1st generation law school. I'm a cancer survivor. I'm a fighter. And I know what it's like when you need a new normal, because I've experienced that as well. I sit on countless boards. I was recently appointed as a commissioner to the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency, which I'm proud to do. And I have 10 seconds left. So visit my website, judgelane.com, for all the exciting things that we're doing, but we're going to flip this seat. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Frank. My name is Matt Rogers. I'm running for judge in the Court of Common Pleas. I'm a lifelong Pittsburgher. I live here with my wife and young son, and I am a family law practitioner. And I think everybody here specifically kind of understands what the inside baseball is when it comes to judges that are elected in Allegheny County, in that the most common landing spot is on the family bench. And I think that's one of the things that differentiates me from a number of the other candidates, is that, you know, I could sit down and have a 3-day custody trial tomorrow and feel comfortable doing it. In addition, I want to go there and I want to stay there for the long term. And we all have this running joke of, you know, what new judge do we have to train this election cycle, which is fine for us, but it's tough on the litigants who, you know, may have an 18-year custody case and may go through 3, 4, 5 judges during that time and have to re-explain their entire case and pay their attorney to do so. So, you know, my mission in this whole process is to go to the family division, stay in the family division, bring some continuity to to the family division and serve the families of Allegheny County for the long term, really through what is, probably one of the most difficult things that they'll go through, in their lives. So thank you, everybody, for giving me the opportunity to speak with you. You can find me at mattrogersforjudge.com. I'm also available on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Once again, thank you, everybody, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Thank you so much and good afternoon. I am Calabrese for Common Pleas, so I hope you remember me by that. But more importantly, I hope you remember me by my life experience. First of all, I am the mayor of Penn Hills, which is the largest municipality outside of the city of Pittsburgh. We've got close to 30 neighborhoods. Likewise, we have the largest minority population outside the city of Pittsburgh. Whenever I come to you as the Pittsburgh Black Lawyers Alliance. I'm not talking to you as voters. I'm not talking to you as just attorneys. I'm talking to you as your interest as I come before you as Black lawyers. So you need to, although I don't look like you, you need to know, does my life experience somehow match any of it, or do I understand any of that experience? I taught employment discrimination law at Carlow University for over 10 years. I was one of the first people at Penn State University. I don't know if we were the first. If we were not the first, we were certainly the first university to actually engage in diversity training. People talk about diversity, but in Penn Hills, we like to say, we don't just talk about diversity, we live it. I want you to know that when you come before me in the courtroom, if I am fortunate enough to have your support and be elected, certainly you can take a look at my life experience. And I grew up in the city. And what I say when I'm speaking in the 5th Ward, I grew up in Bloomfield. I was on one end of the Bloomfield Bridge while the folks in the Hill were on the other end. Our moms were praying for the same thing. And I ask you humbly for your support. Feel free to call me or check out my website. I am Calabrese for Common Pleas. Thank you so much.
My name is Judge Lori Dumas, and I have been a Court of Common Pleas judge in Philadelphia for the past 19 years. And I am running for the Commonwealth Court. My experience through the bench has been in many areas of the law. I have presided over cases in the criminal division, the family court division, and I am now assigned to the civil court division, which makes me uniquely qualified as it relates to experience, because I've had the opportunity to serve in many different areas of the court. And because the Commonwealth Court involves so many different areas of the law, my experience will actually help me to be able to start from day one with no need for any training, because I have plenty of that. My passion work was in family court, where I actually started the first human trafficking court for juveniles in the United States. I go around the country now actually training other judges and jurisdictions of how to start like initiatives in their jurisdictions. And because of our work, Pennsylvania has been placed on the map as one of the leaders in jurisdictions to actually do the work to protect our young children. I am excited about moving to the Commonwealth Court to be able to actually render decisions that are beneficial now, not just to Philadelphians, but to all Pennsylvanians. And so I'm asking for your support. I'm humbly asking for your support. Please check out all of my information that is in the chat. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. All right, we made it. We made it through 43. I think there were a couple absences, but we made it through. I appreciate everyone abiding by the rules and coming in and give us your spill. In the chat, I am listing the other forums we have coming up. Today's March 27th. We just completed that one. May 8th, August 14th, and August 23rd. We hope to see you on those dates. We will contact everyone with the link to register via email. If you have any questions, you can reach us at thepbla.org. I appreciate your time. We will upload this video to YouTube and email it to your campaigns so you can have it for your marketing purposes. I'd also like to take this time to recognize the chair of the political committee, Mr. Franklin Robinson, Vice President Lena Henderson, and members of the political committee, Teron Jenkins, and Tyra Oliver. Again, this video will be available via YouTube, and we will email it to your respective campaigns. A couple corrections where I messed up the names are, let's see, Beth Tarasi and Sabrina Korbel. So I apologize for the mispronunciation. I will get it right the next time. Have a good evening, everyone. I appreciate your time and look forward to the email. You'll hear from us soon. Thank you, everyone.